like the night, and God they watch me.
God they watch me any side way I dey go. I know say me like the night. God they watch me any side way I dey go. I know say me like the night.
It's cool. It's on here.
24/7 hits.
Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the Epic Morning Show. Today on Tuesday, the 14th day of November 2023. We come to you live from Hillcourt Road Studios on 99.3 FM. We also do live on Slick TV. And don't forget, say you can also listen we on Choice FM. Or just click on we Facebook page, Epic Radio 99.3 FM. This morning on the show, we know say on the 9th of November 2023, the Minister of Finance will present the Finance Bill of 2024 to Parliament. Now, this particular bill was deliberated and finally the Finance Act of 2024 was enacted with it come into effect next year, 2024. But then some key things them we changes or some adjustments were made. One, you get some changes relating to income tax. You get some changes relating to withholding tax rates for management and professional services them. And then you also get some changes with regards import duties and as well the goods and services tax, we now the GST threshold. And of course in the area of excise duty, and finally in the area of the extractive industry, that's the mining and petroleum. Now this morning we get for can talk about waiting at some of the changes there so we don't happen as related to tax duty waivers and tax exemptions, and most importantly waiting at the impact of then changes then on the lives of ordinary Sierra Leoneans, and possibly ways via which me and you were able to navigate through that situation day. So we forget, of course, experienced people on the panel this morning for discuss all of that. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. This is the Epic Morning Show. But first, let me take a morning message when I arise. I am James Fortune. Okay, welcome back. Now, this morning we message of motivation. It's about you not always trying to please people. Oh yes, that's very, very much important. You know, are you that kind of person where you always strive towards impressing people around you, even at your own detriment? You not necessarily get a mind of your own. You not get a thought of your own. You're not really able for team up say there is nothing where people go able to identify you for say, hey, that one day those are his boundaries or those are her boundaries. Those are the things where they take. Those are the things where they take. You're just an everyday kind of person. You just strive to please people. You just want for let people them like you. Now there is a danger in that because while yes, people would like you eventually because everybody likes somebody where they can walk all over. But one thing that you would not earn from such people is their respect, because people only value people we get opinion on their own. People only value you when you get an opinion on you, when you get something where you stand on, something where you believe in, something that is your own, that is unique to you, and not just that kind of person where then say let we go over so, and then you're following that route. Oh no, let we change that route, let we pass over so, and then you're following the crowd again. Let's go straight, you're going there. Let's go down, you're going there. It's about you finding your authentic self. So as you go out there today, you're working in an office, you're doing a business, just remember that nothing is better than the original. Try to be the original you. And yes, it is important that you take into cognizance the feelings of people where they are around you. But that not necessarily means your own feelings, them, and your own perspective of things no matter. Of course you matter. And the way you see things, the way you see the world, the way you view things, it really does matter. And who knows, it's just the way you see them, and that way how you want for them would just be that magic touch with that thing they need for bringing that super change. So as you go out today, be your original self. That's very important.
For look under you foot. Where I don't sucker for you, don't clean you, ask why me I get. If us not sell you, treat not go buy you. Not put you open trust, but mortal money go fail you. Mortal man no guarantee. Mortal man no guarantee. Mortal man they lie. Mortal man they fail you. Mortal man go talk when you not talk. Mortal man no guarantee. We no guarantee,
In a world where only the sharpest minds survive, Cowbell Dairy Products is delighted to present the Cowbell Capucines Challenge, a remarkable inter-secondary school quiz competition that brings Freetown secondary schools together to compete for the ultimate prize. The theme for this competition is nurturing the spirit of patriotism through civic education. This isn't your average quiz. It's an extraordinary showdown of intellects and wits. Who will claim the coveted grand prize and of course those all-important bragging rights? Get ready for a whirlwind of challenging questions, exhilarating rounds, and moments that will leave you in awe. As if that's not enough, we have fantastic prizes like trophy, cash, and Cowbell products up for grabs. It's not just a competition, it's a celebration of knowledge and talents. Mark your calendars for November 16 and 17, 2023 at the FPC Multipurpose Hall beginning at 9 a.m. sharp daily. Come cheer for your school, support your friends, and be part of the excitement. Cowbell Capucines Challenge, engaging hearts, equipping minds. Proudly sponsored by Cowbell. Cowbell are
It's
creative.
Epic Radio. So refreshing.
Mortal man go fail. Mortal man no guarantee. Mortal man no guarantee. Mortal man they lie. Mortal man they fail you. Mortal man go talk when you not talk.
Okay, welcome back. Now, this morning on the show, get for the talk about the taxes. Of course, we know say the new Finance Act of 2024 we get for come into effect next year, January 2024. Get for introduce new taxes on rice, iron rods, and cements. That's just an example, but you get lots of other areas them where taxes have been revised and new formulas have been introduced. Now let's just have a background context of the situation. Now the minimum alternate tax where government may introduce in 2023 has been revised. The minimum alternate tax, they don't reduce them from 3% to 2%, we only apply to loss-making companies them. And the withholding tax rates for management and professional services them, for dividend and lottery, they don't increase them from 10% to 15%. And for import duties, we for a very long time import duty on rice, I mean government may don't introduce them anyways, at however it will be at 5% in 2024, and that particular percentage they stand for increase by 2025 to 10%. And also governments don't introduce an increased amount of 5%. It was at 0% on cooking gas. Now it is at 5% on cooking gas. By next year, that's a new introduced tax in that particular area there. And also on the expansion of, we need to understand, say, all of them efforts there. So in line with governments, them efforts towards expansion of the digital economy around the world. We, of course, Sierra Leone are part of the globe. And for goods and services tax, the GST threshold, they don't increase them from 100,000 new leons to 500,000 new leons. And also the GST exemption for mining, agriculture, and manufacturing companies them have been reintroduced as well. Now something will be daily, but then we don't pull them now, then don't come with them again. And there also has been increase in import duty for iron rod and cement. We, of course, now one of the things that we will get for talk about this morning. And significantly for support government free quality education initiative, a 1% education levy has been added to the withholding tax rates. So now withholding tax for residents, them, they don't increase them from 5.5% to 6.5%. Now, and for non-residents, them, it be there at 10.5%, and now it's at 11.5% for non-residents. And of course, for excise duty, the intention of the law now be for harmonize the rates of excise duty for exports and also for domestic sales. However, for stouts and beer, the local industry have been protected in that particular area. The other export rates them have been harmonized accordingly. So there is a new excise duty on gambling and lottery and betting of 10% where government don't introduce in that particular area. There as well have been some significant adjustment in the area of the extractive industry, that's the mining and petroleum. But three main things they don't do in that particular area. Let me just run through them for you quickly. Now, one, you get the royalty return has been introduced where they ensure, say, exports of mineral products them now then they submit royalty with payments to the National Revenue Authority. And two, now that you don't get some changes as well in terms of the royalty rates for gold and artisanal, we be there at 1%, and now gold exported is at 5%. And number three, there has been some new rates them where relates to the determination of the market value for minerals them and how then they calculate royalties them. And finally, exports of minerals them such as fishing products, timber, and other kind of agricultural products them. Now, such people with the exports then they are now required for repatriate 30% of their export sales to Sierra Leone through we banking system within 45 days from the day of export. Now, all of these put together now some of the things them we day inside the new Finance Act of 2024. Significantly this morning we get for focus on how them particular changes then they get for impact the lives of the everyday Sierra Leoneans, whether negatively or positively. So this morning on the show, I'll be joined by seasoned analysts. We get for add them voice to the conversation this morning. We of course na important topic them. And don't forget say you self will listen or the watch we on Facebook. Get an opportunity for add your voice to the conversation on 079-994-993 079-994-993. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. This is the Epic Morning Show. Okay, welcome back. Now, that is it. The tax system has been, you don't get some significant changes them day. But now, often when they talk about taxation and you talk about increased taxation in any country, the first point of view for the everyday Sierra Leonean is the fact that, hey, things are going to be difficult and things, they can become hard. We, of course, Dandina, it's just normal because that is it. But then, this is the thing presently. In the global stage, there is a huge challenge in terms of how people, countries them will be the help countries them like Sierra Leone now themselves, because of course you had the COVID-19, we drastically changed the global finance system, and now you get the war in Ukraine as well, and then there is this one going on in between Israel and Palestine, when there's something as well we don't cause some significant changes within the global finance system. Now, all of these, they make countries them, and Sierra Leone, of course, is not an exception, for rethink them approach towards revenue generation and how for stabilize them economy, how for get the system working, because the handwritings, I think, are very clear on the world that you're not able for continuously depend on external funding, because at some point or the other, you get for expect say there'll be a strain in that particular regard, and how for navigate through that if you not don't prepare for them today. So this morning on the show, I'm being joined by Daniel S. Pewa, winner, media analyst, and good morning, Pewa.
Good morning. Good morning, my family then at the radio land, and at the same time the one they will watch me.
Okay, so taxes are back on rice, iron rods, and cements. Those are just examples of some of the areas them, but then you get several areas. What's your thoughts, first of all, on the new Finance Act? How would you describe it?
Thank you very much. Basically, we now civil society advocates, we primarily concerned about the bread and butter issue, that of the economic livelihood of the ordinary man, because over years we don't advocate in that sector there, and therefore a very dear to we heart. We not dey into them because of we want for talk. We dey into them because we believe 70 to 80% of the average Sierra Leonean they below poverty line. If you go to the provinces, you traverse from the east, west, north and south, you go find out, say, the people that even the host that within they live will tell you, say, yes, they are in abject poverty. The clothes that within they wear, the water within they drink, the food that within they eat, they tell you, say, yes, they are in abject poverty. And most of them don't get access to medical facility, let alone to good food or good housing. So the new Finance Act for 2024, they shock plenty Sierra Leoneans. Yes, I agree with the fact that government not going to succeed without tax, because from every means, if they therefore provide services for the citizens, meaning they need money, they need finance for make sure say they're able for deliver those services to the ordinary man and by extension the citizens. But what is more glaring and what is more biting at the moment, you and I know very well, not to secret anymore, that the economic hardship continue to worsen and it continue to affect the ordinary man adversely. So as a people and as advocates, waiting don't surprise we. Now the fact say government don't, and when I say government, I mean from the cabinet to the legislature, we know the parliamentarians, don't pass the Finance Act 2024, which then puts a certain percentage of money on rice. It surprised me because we know say rice na the staple food for Sierra Leonean. My uncle within a Kabbalah, if he eats cassava, he eats potato, he eats yam, he eats plantain. If he not eat rice, he go say I not eat it. So rice is synonymous with Sierra Leoneans in terms of food. So like I say, yes, in your intro, you don't talk and say, yes, right across the world, supply chain done the contract in many areas, and it will come a time we will get done of fatigue. So, then the money, the grants, they give you, or even the debt they ask for them, we say, no, you do so first, because of the global challenges. And like I say, government should be embarking on taxation in making sure that the much needed services is delivered or are delivered to the people. But not to unrest, when are they with life, you know, Sierra Leoneans.
So your point is generally it's not the general imposition of taxation, but the fact that it's imposed on rice. But I mean, government arguments have been that, well, now one area where people import a lot, and it is a platform for revenue generation. And if you, over time, I mean, the Ministry of Finance, where then don't they pull them statements, then you don't they see the amount of billions and billions and billions of leons where governments they lost in that particular area. Now, government arguments don't be say those are monies we can be used now for providing social services, then the way you just don't talk about for improve the livelihoods of people. You don't think say that's a good enough argument?
It sounds hilarious. Before now, the argument from governments was that there were tax waivers on rice and some essentials, like a cement and iron rod. But that did not bear any dividend. You and I never felt the impact of that tax waiver. Then when they say, the importers, when they count the rest, they're not they give them nothing. They're not of course, the importers, they're not they give government nothing in terms of taxation. So we see the cost price of rice. I mean, I wonder, because this is where a lot of Sierra Leoneans within the provinces, within a village, they not care about that of iron rod, because for them, they know what not. But don't also forget that you have contractors who have gone into contract with government with specific price for construction of those infrastructure, if you like. And then they tagged the price of that contract, like I say, in dollars and some in leons. They tell with them in the budget, with them in the draw then, you know, estimate or budget for that contract, then there is now going to be a shift in that price. So also it means it has to affect those contractors.
No,
but
come
back to the rest. Come back. One second.
Just before you come to the rest, I think that particular area, they would have to depend now on the nature of contracts we such contractors get with government, because you always get room if you're not done implement it for make the necessary changes.
I hope. But that's one is a discussion.
Yeah, that's just an aside anyways.
For another day. So they mean they say they ask importers a dime. So what can happen? We not still see the price of rice being reduced. Now up it go up. Another school of thought go say now the dollar. But if government they try all humanly possible for make sure say the rest is kept at a price wherein you and I will be able to afford it, but we will not see that day coming to fruition. Now they are going to, impose a 5% on it. What do you think, say, then they go take it to? Because they tell we not be, we not tax, not be nepana. Me and you to know you buy them. Now then they can't impose tax. So it means, let we not trivialize this, because it will have to affect the ordinary man. It will have to worsen the livelihood of the ordinary man in such a way that I think the president said it will continue to forget the bad name.
Yes, quickly, Daniel, on that particular point, you talk about the duty waiver. We've been we not at the end of the day get impact on waiting they go on. But don't you think that's in fact a good enough argument to say that, well, if we've had this duty waiver and the purpose of this duty waiver and Afole gets some impact on the prices and all, and it's not even having that, then it's not even necessary that we are losing that billions. So instead of we lose this billion for nothing, let's now have this one where we can put into social services and things like that. That's an argument.
That could be a very good argument. But again, it will be like government shooting itself on the leg. Why am I saying so? We have the Trade and Industry Ministry. We have trade monitors. I don't know whether, they are being, actually effective or not. But it also tells you that somebody somewhere inept or they renege in irresponsibility. Because if government no say for count rest or for import rest, a very essential, a very, very important, a very, very, called for. Then at the end of the day, the one that we carry the rest, then say, okay, because of the suffering of the people, we want to ensure that if we're not able to alleviate them, but let we cushion and let we minimize them so that at the end of the day, feel the impact or the effects of, the economic, downturn where they happen. So it means that the government by itself, through the ministry, the regulatory ministry, for don't see say, then they go to their market then and ensure say, rice is being sold at a price where then they expect say or think say for business people then they for sell that rice they at. But if they renege in their responsibility by not monitoring or regulating the business community, knowing fully well that we are losing millions of dollars because we want to make sure say we people them we able to strike the balance so that at the end of the day, that too much grumble, or that adverse effect on the people will not be felt. Then it means who is to be blamed? You blame the government. Because I cannot be telling you that a mobile phone is going for 5,000 leons, but at the end of the day, I am removing 1,000 leons so that at the end of the day, when you sell that mobile, handheld device to the ordinary man, you go even, oh, mobile price don't come down now. Then go breathe a sigh of relief. That has not been happening. Okay. So what we don't see is, even though government is removing or has, removed the tax on rice, yet still the business people continuously, keep on exploiting the people. And government is not saying anything, let alone to monitor them. Okay. So who is to be blamed? It is the same government. Okay. Me not go believe. In fact, if somebody tell me say tax not there on rice, I go say a lie. Okay. Because tax not there on then they sell and so. When the tax they come on now, and the government is reneging, like I said, in its responsibility through the Ministry of Trade and Industry by not, monitoring or regulating the price, as the case may be.
Playing the role of the devil's advocate here, yeah. Do you believe in the saying that drastic disease needs drastic cure? And in this circumstance, considering not just the economy of Sierra Leone, the global trend of, world financial systems and all, you not feel, say, in we own case, it's just that kind of situation, they say, owing to the drasticness of the situation, government has to take drastic measures then for cushion the effect. So whether it involves rice, it involves iron rod, these are drastic measures. It's just not just this thing of necessity.
Yeah, you made me remember the the statement issued by the former president, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, that during the Ebola crisis, he did say that extraordinary times or events requires extraordinary measures. Yeah, and then also quoting from the former president of the United States, George Bush Jr. He did say that freedom is not free. Yes, if you want to get freedom, you must be prepared to go through hard times. That I quite agree with. But what is government doing in making sure that this issue of rice, our overdependence of rice is reduced, and at the same time we grow the rice that we eat and even eat the rice that we grow, other than bringing, because I am not bragging, I have been to Asia. Most of the rice they send to Africa, their shelf life is as long as the world long. Yeah. So it means that the rice that is coming here is not as nutritious as it should be. So what is wrong with us as Sierra Leoneans if we continue to produce our own rice that we eat and even export to other neighboring countries? So again, the president's flagship program for his, this of his second term has been Feed Salon. But what are the pointers? I was listening to one of the pundits that was saying, from the agriculture ministry. I was saying we have a lot of mechanized, equipment in terms of combine harvesters, in terms of tractors, in terms of fertilizers, in terms of seedlings, a lot. He outlined a lot. Like I said, we have been going to the provinces. Those tractors, don't talk about combine harvesters, in fact, because it is only when you grow the rice and, it reaches a time of harvest, then you talk of combine harvester. But let's talk about, tractors that does the plowing, yeah? Those in the private sector that are hiring those tractors, they hire it for millions of leons. You will have to fill the tractor, you will have to pay the operator, you will have to pay for maintenance if at all it goes down. You have to show that that's responsible, those costs. So it tells you that the Ministry of Agriculture itself is not even capacitated or ready to actually ensure that those equipments are given out to farmers at a reduced cost, so that at the end of the day, when the farmer harvests his crop, yeah, or his produce at the end of the day, he will sell it as a cost that will be affordable for you and I. So what is more important at this moment, and thankfully we have a local government. The local government touches every nook and cranny of Sierra Leone, and by extension, Sierra Leone, sorry. So it tells you that if government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, let it be a multi-sectoral or interministerial, approach in making sure that the Feed Salon come to fruition. What am I saying? Those villages, let them empower the chiefdoms onto village levels, so that at the end of the day, each and every district embarks on the production of food that the soil is suitable enough to accommodate. Let's say for Kabbalah. Kabbalah is known for its vegetable production based on the climate, the climate that is there. Pujehun is known for rice based on the climate there. Kailahun. So the agriculture ministry should be in a position to know that this area is suitable for the cultivation or growing of such and such food or vegetable or crop as the case may be.
It's a good thing that you've mentioned the Feed Salon initiative, because that's actually the next question here. You don't get arguments them as well from government people. We don't propose, say, well, the tax reforms them with governments they introduce, and they are not just something we then just introduce from the sky, and are part of a holistic measure for kind of straighten things and get things on track. And imposing taxes on rice as well linked to the fact that government now is putting much more effort in terms of locally produced rice, and by the time we government don't succeed on that, it's not going to be a burden anymore to people for be bothered with imported rice, because there is already enough in country for let people able to buy. My question is, in that particular regard, I think I asked it yesterday to Dr. Moinina. government, the new Finance Act, they come into effect by January 2024. Yeah?
Yep.
There is no rice way we go down plants now, we go down Bokuna the market by January 2024.
At all.
So my question is, do you think that particular argument, the other approach there of government is a prudent one? It's somehow it seems like putting the cart before the horse, or do you think it's the horse before the cart, whatever the case may be now, in this particular circumstance that the law would not come into effect by January, prices on rice, I mean, expectedly go up, and people could already begin feel that particular pinch day. So the term Usia way we go on succeed on the feed salon project, we'll go get in more locally produced rice now the market. Is that something?
Brilliant, very brilliant question. Very brilliant question. Firstly, make I agree with you that it is like putting the cart before the horse.
No, well, I give two situations, the cart before the horse or the horse before the cart. You choose.
No, it's like government is now putting the cart before the horse, because now the horse, now for pull the cart, now for draw them, not to the cart, they pull the horse. It is like taking a dying cow to the abattoir or the slaughtering house. The cow don't sick, it need medication. You say, man, this is not good menu. I'll take you one time to the abattoir for slaughtering. The question, there is a technical catch into this. Plus or minus. Rest, we will know but farming. The shortest time it take na 3 months for the harvest time. Other crops, it could be more than that. Other rest than day, where they take more than 4 months before you harvest time. So if you say you generate income or revenue for feed demand, but it already strangle the man, yeah, because this tax, it will be like it strangle or strangulates Sierra Leoneans. You remember, I started off by saying that before now, government did say there has not been any imposition of tax on rice importation. And now that there was no imposition of tax, we were still buying rice at 7, 5, 6, 800,000 leones based on the quality of the rice. Now, if they can't impose tax, almost you think, say, rice go. Okay, I heard them saying that the grade, from grade A to grade 1, then therefore increase their salaries. The question would be, let me say somebody would have to pay 800,000. Now then say them go for they pay you 1,200,000. Don't forget about that new loan, this, that, because for me, it don't make sense for if you let government, one country get 2 currencies, and it is the same.
I think it's one currency we have. I mean, it's leones. We not get leones.
Okay, 2 different currencies. 2 different currencies. Now the same currency, but the appearance is different.
Okay, we can agree on the appearance.
You understand me?
Yes.
You understand me? So the part, it just say a play with recycle, say 2 leon. Take 2 leon now, the traditional 2 leon, let go say at the Sidon Panther bike from one point to the other. Then we say, I mean, something wrong with you. So somebody would have made they paid 1,200,000, sorry, 800, now then say then make a certain percentage increment on the salaries. Let we say if they make the increment, it will come up to, the take home will be 1,800,000. So they don't put 400,000 there. Then rest way they buy, the minimum is 500,000 leones. You put 500,000 from 1,200,000. The 700,000 way they left with you. You think about other variables, the cost of other variables. Let's take transportation, for instance, from one point to the other. The cheapest you pay is 5,000 leones for the shortest distance on keke, on bike,